Okay. All right. So we have the beautiful Mikalena Knight with us today. We met Mikalena in person to person in Uluru, and her beautiful sister Stacey as well. And it was really, really great to connect face to face. I don't know, there's something about going to incentive, going to convention and going to networking events, because you just get to meet people face to face and it's so amazing. I love it.
Yeah, it is a really good experience.
So Presidential Diamond, she has amazing connections within her team and training, and she's really beautiful inside and out, and we're really pleased to have you today, so thank you so much for joining us.
Hi everyone, I feel so much pressure. This is actually my first experience as a guest outside of my own team. So really, yeah, so this is a new thing for me as well. Your amazing Blue Diamond leaders and I were chatting about what sort of things that, you know, I can actually present to you today, and based on what we talked about, I'm actually going to be talking about the pipes. I don't know if any of you have heard of the pipes. This is something that has been part of Share Success for a few years now, and now that doTERRA is taking it on as Empowered Success, we're going to be hearing a lot more about that. So I'm going to present to you what I call with my team the empowered pipes, because it's presented in a way of, you know, a lot of structure and activity, but there is definitely a lot more essence behind it, you know, and a lot more that we can do with it other than just, you know, presenting, inviting, whatever they all are. I've got a document on my computer, and hopefully I can share my screen in a minute and show you. But I actually want to get started with the belief levels of doTERRA. And this is something I've actually been working with for quite a few years. And it's an amazing teaching tool, not only for me to present to you, but also for you to share with your teams as you get more customers coming in and as you get people starting to want to share with you. The belief levels is based on what we can be personally working with and what our focus should be as we move into each rank. Now, it's very easy when we first enter this business to go, oh my God, I need to find builders, I need to be a leader, I need to influence loads of people, I need to create a movement. And we can actually lose connection with what we can bring the most power to at each level. And, you know, we call them ranks, but, you know, I don't really love that term. I actually coined the term soul advancements very early on in my journey with doTERRA, because I don't think it's just about rank. I think at every level that we achieve in doTERRA, we are growing into a new greater version of ourselves. We're actually shedding a lot of parts of us that don't serve the being that we're growing into, the leadership that we are stepping into. So, you know, I see people growing and rising and shifting and changing and getting more confident. And I think that's such a beautiful process. And that's why I call them soul advancements, because it's so much beyond rank.
Yeah.
You know, we might see elite, premier, silver, but what I see is someone who's gaining more confidence, more clarity, more dynamism in how they share and how they do it. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful process. So I'm actually going to start with these soul advancements with you today. So just let me see if I can share my screen. All right, so there we go. Hopefully you can see that. Can I get a thumbs up if you can see that? Cool. So when we first started in this business, majority of you probably came in to use the oils, right? And you got really excited, and On Guard was helping your health, and peppermint was awakening you, and wild orange smells amazing. And, you know, as you're all part of System Mix, and I bet you're all experimenting with them in your food and, you know, really finding a lot of joy in them. And then at some point you wanted to start sharing. And at this point, it's really easy to start jumping ahead and looking, oh my God, what do I need to do to get to diamond? But there is actually a really simple formula to keep you completely aligned with the journey as you rise up into those soul advancements. And I'll just see if I can zoom in a little bit so you can see. And all too often I see people get completely lost in things beyond where their focus could be and where the power in their business is going to be. And so at the rank of elite, it's actually mostly about the product. I would even say it's almost all about the product, up to the point of elite. So if you want to grow to elite and really hold that rank and start to ready yourself to move into that next level of premier, the focus should be the product. Now, I don't love the word should, but, for want of a better term, the focus here, the power here is in the product. Living the product, being the product, having joy in the product, sharing experiences of the product. At Executive Elite, this isn't about finding leaders, finding diamonds who are going to help, get you to diamond. This experience here at Elite, Executive Elite, is purely about the product. And this is where the heart of the business is, in our product. We're not a business that thrives on the opportunity. We see that, right? You see what other companies like shake companies, I won't name any, I have quite a few people add me from these industries, and their sharing is based on, achieving the Millionaires Club and, the things that they, the stuff that they get while they're on this journey. Whereas if you look into the heart of doTERRA, it's all about the product, and coming from this place is going to bring power to your business. Focusing on the product is going to inspire other people to love, be, and will even want to share the product. So I look back in my journey, and I actually started via the business. I was enrolled to do the business. So coming from that place, I actually shared from that place. And you know what? My business didn't really go anywhere at first. I just overdid the business. Come on, you'd be amazing at this. I just duplicated all the language that got me enrolled. And I actually scared off more people than what I actually enrolled. And I can honestly say that hand on heart, because I'd introduce oils to the people and then I'd see them pop up with other people and I'd be so devastated. No blame on anyone else, but knowing that I was doing something wrong. And so a bit of self-exploration, and I realized that I was taking people too far too soon, because this is a products-based business. This company was set up with the intention of it being a products-based business. And when we work too much outside of that, we're actually going against the flow that was set from the very beginning, and that is amazing oils. So right now, at this point in the journey, you can immerse yourself in the product, learning about it, loving it, finding new ways that you love to share it. And that's an exploration process, because, we leaders can only teach what we know, but that might not completely align with you. So, you can rise up and be accountable for finding ways that you absolutely love sharing the product. That may be sampling, that may not be. I'm not a sampler, but I have people on my team who love sampling, and that is the way they grow their business. You might not love doing big workshops, but you might love sitting down in intimate settings with 2 or 3 people, and you might enroll every person there. So this is a beautiful rank, actually, because you really get to find your flow and set the grounding for moving forward. So come back to this. If you're stuck, if you can't move through into Premier, it's about expanding into this more deeply, more strongly, more confidently. If you haven't found your confidence in doing your intro workshops or your one-on-ones, then it's going to be really challenging for you to inspire others to share as well. And therefore, it's going to be hard for you to move into Premier and Silver. So it's just coming back to where we get stuck. That is how we start to move through. So Premier is more about the business, because you're expanding. you're coming into a place where you're sharing, you've got two legs, or you're wanting to inspire people to share and create their own legs. So this is where we start to get really strong in the opportunity. Really, really strong. Being completely confident at selling, whatever that looks like for you. So I have to be honest, I'm not a salesperson. I actually suck at it. My sister, Stacey Walker, is amazing. Her life coach zone page is all about getting confident in selling, in sharing, in creating connections. And I will be the first to admit I'm actually the worst example of a network marketer in the world, because I did everything the wrong way. So don't listen to me when it comes to that part. But I believed in this opportunity so strongly that I was there was no doubt in my mind I would be able to get to Presidential Diamond. And I shared from that place of conviction. I believed in this company and I believed in the business that I was doing. Now, this is a real sticking point for a lot of people because there is a lot of greyness and fear around the MLM thing, the pyramid scheme thing. And this can actually hold us back as well. So if you're finding it really hard to talk about the opportunity, to openly promote the opportunity, then this might be a place of work for you. So we want to share the messages of doTERRA, getting an oil in every home. You know, we want to be the company that gets the most people out of debt. How familiar are you with the philosophies of doTERRA and how confident are you sharing those? So this is where we need to do the work to be at the level of Premier. Now I'll quickly run through the rest because I don't want to dive too far into the bigger stuff, but silver, whoops, I'm trying to center it. Silver is the rank where we gain belief in ourselves. Yeah. And this can be a place where people sit for a little while. And, you know, I'm someone who promotes and is passionate about the self-discovery work and the personal growth and, you know, rising into leadership. And this is often where there is the biggest sticking point for people at silver. So at silver, you're pretty good. You love the opportunity. You're sharing it. You've got people sharing. And we're wanting to move through silver into gold, where we've got Premier. So people actually building this business themselves. But actually, the work starts within us. And my personal experience is that this is why people can sit at silver for a long time, is because they're resisting the inner work and the growth and, you know, going out, being accountable for learning what they need to learn to rise into that next level of leadership. So, you know, whatever we are, whatever we think, whatever we feel, we're actually duplicating, we're sending out there into the world around us. And a really great way to know what stuff you've got going on and what's going out there is to actually reflect on the questions you've got coming back at you. So, you know, if you've got a lot of people coming to you saying that they can't afford it, you know, where is your belief level around money and, you know, believing that other people can afford it? You know, how often are you using the language, I can't afford that, I don't have the money to do that? You know, a lot of people, I've never gotten these. A lot of people get issues coming up around internal use. And there's a lot of fear around that. So, you know, if you've got that coming towards you, where is your lack of comfort around internal use? That might not be taking it internally yourself, but, you know, how comfortable are you in sharing that and being an essential oil authority, I guess you could say. So silver is the U level, you know, really working at that confidence, that leadership, you know, becoming an influencer. I love that word. That's a really big one. You know, as we rise, we become an influencer at every level, you know, and then of course you've got gold. So gold isn't about you anymore. This is about your leaders. And, you know, I have to be honest, this can be a bit of a scary place as well. I remember this level very well, where you're actually taking other leaders in your hands and you're responsible for the team that's going beneath you. This is a real fear at that level. But at this point, you've got to start letting go of what you want and what you need and being there to support the needs of others. And I feel like this is why a lot of people get a bit stuck at silver, is because they're not ready to let go of it being about them. and rise into and meeting other people where they're at. So, you know, I share this so that you can start to familiarize yourself with the teachings that you need to be able to rise through each level. So, you know, you have to have belief in your builders to get to gold. And I've mentored so many people who will be honest. Honesty is the only way you'll get through this. Who in honesty will come back and say, I don't believe in those I'm working with. And that's because they're doing everything for them, you know, because they're there for them. They're building this business to get themselves to gold. So, you know, it's, again, this is about checking in with yourself and where you're at and being completely honest. So, and then, you know, as you rise through platinum and diamond, you're handing more of, you know, the responsibility over to those underneath you. Platinum is a higher level of belief in your team. A diamond is coming back to your why. And it's not until blue diamond where you start playing around with this word of influence. If we're trying to be too influential, right down at elite, we're going to be working at, you know, trying to work with people who aren't, you know, at our level yet. You know, so just keep in mind, though, there are a lot of people who come to doTERRA who have actually been doing doTERRA a long time before they got to doTERRA.
Yeah.
And I'm not necessarily, you know, meaning time, of course, but there are people who come into this business who have been through all of this personal work with themselves. They've been building massive networks for a very, very, very long time. They've established a high level of influence with the big networks that they already have. They don't come in and they don't get to blue diamond or presidential diamond overnight with no work. It's just we haven't seen that level of work. And, you know, I came in to this business with someone who had done a high level of that work. And I put a lot of pressure on myself who, you know, for me, I was starting at the beginning. I had 4 people on my first list. I was running a reasonably big Facebook group called the Perth Wellness Community, but I didn't really know any of those people. And when I had my first workshop, I only personally knew 3 of the people there. Everyone else I had just built a little bit of influence with in that Facebook group over almost 2 years. So, you know, even that little bit of work, you know, those people that I got to that first workshop, you know, I had spent a bit of time with them, showing them who I was and, you know, showing them that I could bring them value and that I was someone to be trusted. So just, you know, be very kind to yourself. If you feel like you're not moving fast enough, there are a lot of people in Australia who've been moving really quickly in this business, you know, because of the previous work that they've done. And, you know, it's easy. I can totally get it because I've been there. It's easy to compare yourself and think that you're not good enough, you're not doing well enough. But what I would encourage you to do is actually come back into yourself and go, where was I a month ago? Where was I 2 months ago? Where was I 6 months ago? Where was I 12 months ago? If you're going to compare yourself to anyone, compare yourself to you where you were at before you know what you know now. And remember, this is a journey. So as you can see in this document, it's a rising up. You know, we're traveling up this mountain and no one starts at the top. We all start at the bottom. You know, that may have been 10 years before doTERRA, but we all start at the bottom and we all have to do this work required. So if you try and skip levels, and, you know, I can, you know, share this with conviction. I've witnessed this within my own team. If you try and avoid the lessons and the work required at each level, you might hit the rank once or twice, but the universe will send you back to where you need to do the work. Again, don't be hard on yourself. Just come back into yourself and think, where do I need to do the work here?
Yeah.
And this is exciting. This is really exciting. This is growth. I'll stop sharing for a little while and open up in case everyone has any questions or your beautiful leaders want to add stuff to this.
I love that. I think that, yeah, you've hit the nail on the head so many times and it's wonderful. So let's do a Q&A. You can either type it in the chat box or unmute yourself and ask any questions. Amber.
Oh, I'm unmuted. Yeah, I don't really have any questions, but I'm just glad I jumped on today because that's exactly where I'm at. So all of this has been really resonating with me, and definitely need to do some more personal development work.
I'm a huge believer in the personal development work. And as I said, I am the world's shittest network marketer. I can say that with conviction. People go, oh, no, don't say that. I'm like, no, I'm just being totally honest and I have no problem with it whatsoever. But what I did do was the personal work, and I committed to it. You know, when I came into this business, I was not in a good place emotionally. I was almost at a point again in my life of self-harm. I was in that bad a place, and my business just brought me grief in the beginning. It was a horrible experience, and I almost quit several times. But I rose up, looked myself into the heart, and I said, right, what I need to do here is the personal work. And somehow I attracted really amazing leaders, and we worked together to create a really powerful business. So you can do this no matter who you are, no matter what your strength, being honest with yourself and working with your strengths, not hiding from them.
Yeah.
Does anyone else want to have any questions before we get into the juicy stuff, the pipes, like how are we going to do this? No?
I've just got a question, like what kept you going? So you said that you nearly gave up a dozen times, and, you know, and it was really, really hard for you. So what kept you going? Like, why did you want to do it? What was the passion?
To be honest, it was about the money, the freedom that this could provide. And I want to be really, really open in saying that it is okay to be doing this for the money.
Absolutely.
There is a lot of talk at the moment about, or has been for the whole time I've been doing this even, almost a shame, an energy of shame associated with doing this as a business and doing this for the money. And I want to stand up, not against that, but, you know, for those of us who are doing this for the money. So my husband was in the Navy, and he was away most of the year. So he'd be away at sea 4 months of the year, and, you know, he'd get back on a Friday night at about 9 p.m. after a 4-month trip, be duty one of the days. So he'd be at work one of the days during the weekend, and back to work from 7 till 5 on a Monday if he was home. So we never got to see each other, and our lives were pretty miserable. So that's what kept me going. I needed to get him out of the Navy. If we were going to be together as a family, if I was going to survive motherhood, I needed this. So it was honestly about the money. And, you know, the expansion of that was my family and our happiness and our freedom. But the essence, you know, in truth, the essence was the money. And it's okay to say it's about the money. I'm just going to keep reaffirming that over the next 6 to 12 months, because we really need this in this market right now. And, you know, there will be a time where it's not about the money anymore. And that's about Blue Diamond. When you've got a solid Blue Diamond and you're working with really amazing people who light up your life, or at least teach you what you need to know about yourself, which isn't always fun, but, you know, we won't go there. But, you know, that is a beautiful thing in itself. Where you actually get to detach from the money is the beautiful thing. But it's not like that in the beginning, and it's okay not to feel that way, because, you know, we don't do this for free. We do this to create an income so we can have the freedom. You know, we talk about the dreams, that does require a level of prosperity, and, you know, since this has come up, yes, it's okay to do this for the money.
Yeah,
it's actually necessary even.
Yeah, totally agree.
Yeah.
So yeah, don't feel any shame if this is about the money for you in the beginning. It can still be about the oils. Let's face it. It's an amazing product. They change lives. You know, developing that relationship, that connection with the oils will go deeper and deeper and deeper. But, you know, we don't have an innate cash flow enabling us to do this, the majority of people. So, you know, I had to do this, or I was going to lose my family. So, you know, that was a real driver for me, and it's okay to say that.
Yeah, good on you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, good on you.
Yeah.
All right, so let's dig into the juicy stuff. So how do you get to the ranks of elite and premier and silver, etc.? So I'll go back to my lovely document because, as you might have seen, there is another page to this. All right, and this one I'll zoom out on. So you will be hearing more about the pipes.
Yeah.
But what I actually want to get you to focus on is the pipe of pipes, because this is where you are going to create a really strong foundation for your business. The S is important, but we will talk about that in a minute. What I want to start from is the beginning with the P. So, you know, people talk about money-making activities. The pipe is where the focus is until silver. So if you want to start, you know, touching more lives, getting more enrollments, doing more classes, this is the foundation of the work required. Now, behind all this is a lot of love and a lot of heart and a lot of intimate connection. But, you know, if you're looking at purely at the physical schedule of what you do, these are the activities that we do to start growing our business and growing our business strongly. Because look, let's face it, you can go out there and enroll 1,000 people. If none of those people actually, you know, go on LRP and use the product and come to classes, then you're going to need to enroll another 1,000 people to be able to, you know, create that same level of income and, you know, get that OV flowing.
Mm-hmm.
So the P from pipes is about being prepared, and part of that preparation is your intimate connection with the oils. So, you know, we start with a home essentials kit. We don't need this to be overwhelming. You know, when we're learning, we learn about the home essentials kit and we teach others. We start others there as well. You know, if you make it your mission to spend all of your fast start on every single product for the first 6 months, and then you've got all these products sitting there and you feel overwhelmed and anxious about getting to know it all so that you can pass all that information on to others and then overwhelm them, you're going to struggle a little bit. So start really slow and start with what matters. Become a product of your home essentials kit. Find hundreds of ways that you can use that home essentials kit and inspire others to use that home essentials kit. You know, become totally unique in how you use it, because that's going to create a deep connection with those you're sharing with. I don't know if any of you know Martha Nessler, but she's a very memorable character. And when I first met her, she was talking about, you know, how our connection with others, our unique, authentic connection with others, inspires people to enroll, not the product itself. And I sort of had a thought about that. And then she came out with, you could have a bowl of caterpillar piss in your hand, and if you're selling it from your heart, then you're going to enroll that person. They will believe you. And
I love that.
We've got to get Martha onto us.
yeah. And, you know, I was like, she's right. She's absolutely 100% correct. Because when you show up and put yourself first and you say, I'm here to connect with you, I'm here to hear you, no one really cares what you're selling.
Yeah, that's right.
Luckily, we've got a really great product. But no one really cares. If you are there to listen to them, you've got an enrollment. Because what this world is starving of is being heard.
Yeah.
And having someone authentically connect with them. So if you've got that, then you've got an enrollment. That intimate connection will come, in terms of the product, it will come with the confidence that you have to share that product. Now, my hubby was telling me a story. He never told me this before. We're getting a bit off track, but it's relevant, I promise. He was telling me a story where he used to do door-to-door sales, which is, I can't even imagine. That's just crazy. But he is not someone who's spiritual or religious in the slightest. Typical Aussie bloke, not a spiritual bone in his body, but he had someone he went to sell something to, convince him that he needed to go to church because this person was so passionate about what they were talking about. He booked in with Richard to go to church that Saturday. Now, you know, Richard left and was like, I have no idea what I just committed to there. And he didn't end up going anyway. But passion is contagious, and your passion will come from being a product of the product. This is where you start. You know, we talked about that with Elite. So, you know, preparation. When I was in the Navy, one of our sayings was preparation prevents piss poor performance. And it's absolutely true. If you walk into an intro workshop or a one-on-one without any knowledge of the product, without being prepared, without having done any connection time with that person, understanding who they are, what their needs are, who their family is, how many kids they've got, what their needs are. If you walk in without any understanding of that kind of stuff, it's going to show in the end result. That's not preparation. So we're throwing ourselves into preparation. And again, this is about people. It's always about people. So that's what the preparation is, caring enough to know where people are at and how you can serve them. So scheduler types activities. A lot of people come in and they sort of get stuck around executive elite because, you know, it's like, all right, I'll sit down at Facebook and I'll scroll for 3 hours and maybe I'll connect with your person who even talks about having some kind of health issue. But what you can do is actually schedule time for preparation, inviting, presenting and enrolling so that you can move forward in your business no matter what. You know, get product and business training. This is exactly what you can be doing, what you were doing here today. But I say to people still that I got to Diamond because I showed up to everything. My husband would be in for the weekend. I'd hand over my little one. I'd be out the door and I wouldn't see him all weekend because I was at training, product launches, you know, all sorts of different things. I put the effort, the energy and the attention into learning about the product. Again, being prepared, you know, having strong skills in the foundational knowledge, going over and over and over it in your mind, practicing presenting it to people or even just role-playing to no one so that you are 100% comfortable with how you're sharing the oils. We don't want you to be people who repeat every single thing that other people say. This is about practicing and going over and over with it so you can be prepared. Receive personal mentoring. You know, that might look like groups like this, or that might be going to the person that enrolled you and actually being physically one-on-one mentored by that person. Go to them with what your struggles are, what you're finding the hardest, what actually is working for you, how you can expand on what you already know. There are so many things you can talk to your mentors about. And sitting there feeling like it's hard and feeling lost without actually talking to anyone is the fastest way that you're going to stay stuck. So create that connection for yourself with your mentors and your team, and that will reflect back into your team below you. And of course, do the personal development. I'm talking a lot, I better hurry up. So, okay, the next one is invite. So we want to share the product. And this isn't as bland and heartless as just going, hey, would you like to try an oil? I first started using the term creating an essential oil miracle quite early when I was working with people in my team. And, you know, our mission is to help people have an essential oil miracle. That might be through samples. Someone's got a headache and you give them a sample of peppermint and that headache's gone. Suddenly they're listening. Okay, all right, that worked. What do I need to know? I'm coming to your next class. Sharing the products is essential to get people to start listening to you. Now, putting a class up on Facebook and hoping people will come, I'm guilty of that. Again, I said, well, it's worst network marketer. I'm guilty of that. Putting a class up and then getting disappointed because no one will come. But to be honest, I didn't do that foundational work of actually sharing the product. Now, if you're not a sampler, then take on Natalie Goddard's philosophy of just swiping people. Honestly, she just goes up and swipes people. Oh, you're looking stressed, try some balance, swipe. That's how she enrolled Matt Anderson, actually. So you might love just swiping people, or you might love giving someone some lemon in their water, the cafe that's sitting next to you. You know, whatever your flow is, get those products out there and get those experiences and that connection with the product out there. That's our job, not enrolling. It's getting the connection to the product out there, creating those essential oil miracles. Take attachment to the enrolling out of it. We'll just, you know, say that for now before we get to enroll, but take the attachment to enrolling out of it and your business will start to flow like you've never experienced before. And also we want to share the opportunity. So that doesn't mean hammering the business down people's throats. That's inviting someone to have a class. Would you like to share these with your friends? Now, again, whatever your flow is, there are some people who are really great at booking classes from classes. Then there are others who are really great at developing a connection after someone's gotten the oils, getting them over for a workshop, whatever that looks like for you. We can't wait for people to ask us to have the classes. We need to encourage, inspire, even if it's subtly, others to want this for themselves. So, inviting people to those classes, physically inviting people through developing those connections, those essential oil miracles, getting on the phone, texting. If you're terrified of getting on the phone, don't be ashamed of that. There are lots of us out there. Whatever way that you feel comfortable developing that connection so that you can authentically invite, that's the way that's going to work for you. And don't forget to remind guests to attend. Look, Facebook was never meant to be a way of developing enough connection to get people to classes. It was never going to be, even if that was the intention. It's just a way of sending it out to the world that you are doing this. There is a lot of work behind getting people to classes, and that's part of developing that connection. Again, those who get a lot of people to classes have already done all that work previously. So how can you bring more power to your connection so that you can get those people to your classes? So the next one, or one-on-ones, whatever that. Whatever your preferred way of delivery is. So present the products. How much of your time are you spending presenting? A lot of people spend a lot of time inviting, but it's not actually physically presenting the experience, the products, the opportunity, doing classes or one-on-ones. You might love doing sister circles where it's actually not about the oils at all, but you use the oils and create interest through that. And in your own way, you're presenting those oils and encouraging people to start asking more. So presenting needs to be a big part of what we do. Otherwise, people are never going to know about the oils. They're never going to know about the opportunity to enroll. They're never going to know about the opportunity to have hundreds and hundreds of LRP points sitting in their account, all that free product is available to them. There is a lot of fear around, presenting this information. So explore that, or talk to your mentors about that, because that can be what's preventing you from moving forward. So getting really good at presenting is absolutely essential. And again, whatever that looks like for you. That might be to classes of 30 people. That might be intimate one-on-one settings. No judgment about how, but this is, an action, and this is what's going to create flow in your business. And if you're not good at something, it doesn't mean that you need to spend hours agonizing over it, but we can develop our skills in this business. Now, I was hopeless at delivering classes when I first started. It's actually a bit of a joke between some of my leaders because I come from a science background, so I just vomited science and intimate, knowledge, over detailed knowledge that people just couldn't remember or even cared about, to be honest. But I had to develop that as a skill. So, this is something that we can spend time with doing. And again, if you need help, ask your mentors. And so we've got enroll. So yes, we need to be enrolling new members. That's absolutely given. Our teams can't grow unless we're enrolling new members. And we need to enroll in LRP. Otherwise, our business simply won't grow. We might enroll 10 people, as I said before, but if we aren't encouraging those people to use the oils and go on LRP, then we'll have to enroll another 10 people to get that same OV. And that's a bit of a bleak future. So, increasing your skills in presenting the products, not just the oils, but the products, and presenting LRP is going to help you have success in enrolling people and enrolling people in LRP. This doesn't mean you have to have attachment to the enrollments. And it's a hard thing to sort of comprehend, well, if I'm not attached to enrolling, how do I enroll? But being unattached is exactly how you enroll. When you share the oils, if you're already thinking about how much OV that's going to add to your business and, if that's going to help you rank, you're actually cutting the energy off there. Because people, when they feel pressured, and you will probably relate to this at some stage in life, when you start to feel a pressure to do something, you automatically start backing away. You might not even be aware of it, but we want to be unattached. However, we want to present that opportunity to enroll. Always, with every sample, with every experience we're offering an opportunity to enroll as well. Now, committing to share and host a class and committing to build, that's something that will be inspired over time. We don't find leaders, we inspire them. But if you're really strong in all of the other pipe activities, you are actually going to naturally inspire that in people anyway. We don't become leaders because we're asked. We become leaders because we're inspired to do so. And you can continually inspire people to ask more questions, learn more about it, and even start to share themselves, just, by having that flow, by being confident, doing what you're doing with absolute conviction that you are going to change the world in what you do. Now, just to finish up with support, this is important. The support is absolutely essential for ongoing LRP, for a strong community, but we don't take on that support ourselves until we hit around the rank of silver. Who's overwhelmed by the support that they feel they need to give their teams after they enroll? Put your hand up. I think that's a lot of people, lots and lots of people. But you know what? When we support as a community, our community is strong. Now, I know a lot of you can probably relate to this, want to go off and create your own Facebook group and create your own materials and create brand new websites to support your team and do your own training. But that, honestly, that stuff takes a lot of time and it takes a lot of energy. And you've got some amazing leaders who are helping you put that in place for you and with you. If you go and put all your energy into supporting, you're actually not going to have enough time to do the prepare, the invite, presenting, and enrolling, which is the foundation of growth in your business. So work together to support your team, and you will find that team flourishing. Your members will be inspired, so deeply inspired, when they see a community of people backing these oils, loving these oils, living these oils, rather than yourself having to stay up to midnight every night answering questions on a Facebook group. When there is other groups out there that are, they're answering questions for you, they're creating connection for you. Part of what we are here for, whether we're acknowledging it yet or not, is the community, right? I say this at convention, what would I be doing if I wasn't doing doTERRA? And I'd probably be at home and probably alone because my husband would still be in the Navy. But through doTERRA, I've gained an amazing family, an amazing community of people. And we have an opportunity to give every single person we enroll that. Yeah. Every single person. However, we can't do it on our own. So when we work together, when we create classes together, when we create team events together, when we share the load together, our work is so much more powerful. So honestly, keep your focus on the pipe, and only when you are completely in flow and strong and fully confident in that pipe, even start thinking about breaking away from the greater team to start supporting your community on your own. And some of you might know the group, The Essential Oil Life. It was Empower with Essential Oils. I started that group when I first enrolled with doTERRA with the intention of it just being my team thing. But then I opened it up because I thought, well, there are so many people who don't have any support and I can do that. And I was staying up until 11 o'clock at night, midnight, even later, answering questions, getting people the answers they needed, helping them feel loved and supported, bringing people together. And, that created a lot of overwhelm in my life because then I have to squash all of the pipe activities into even less time. I don't regret what I did. I just wish I'd scaled it down and probably kept it to my team because I burnt out and it was really hard to get it back. So what I've actually done is had to pull away from supporting tens of thousands of people that aren't actually in my team and restarting again with my own team and we've got a beautiful little community starting again. So I would encourage you all to work together, have your own group all together, not your own groups, but your own group where you can love and nurture those who are directly related to your business, so that you can all grow together, because none of you are alone. Someday, huge amount of people behind you here. And when you develop relationships between yourselves, your business is going to be so much stronger as well. I've got a lot of cross-line connection happening with my leaders. They're really great friends and they support each other. Where they don't have the skills, others are stepping in to help them, and vice versa. So my advice to you now is start focusing on growing your business with your pipe activities, but create a really powerful community together with the support.
I love that. That's a really great tip. Thank you.
Yeah. No worries.
All right, we'll open up to a bit of a Q&A and see if anyone has any questions about any of that, because I know for us, we have our Facebook group and we have, a whole heap of stuff going on, and it is powerful, even for myself. So I've been, trying to do a Facebook Live a day. Hasn't gone right every single day. I've missed a few here and there, but that has seen our OV grow, and I'm hoping it has seen the flow-on effect down throughout our team and even the broader community, because that is an open Facebook group. But and it is, and we get lots of questions in there, just like you said, about how do I use this and how do I use that, and what's Kapai Bar's new, and blah 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 blah. And it just spreads it out into the universe that these oils are there and everyone's answering and helping, and we have seen that the OV in our whole team increase since I've started doing those lives. So, imagine if all of us were doing that, like the response as a collective would be insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
So who would love to start doing some of those live videos as part of that group, This is, so your leaders don't have to do it all. And this is part of the stepping up process where, you get to go, oh, I can do this. And, I start volunteering. Show these beautiful ladies that I'm ready. I'm here to support. And you know what? The effect that's going to have on your team is going to be phenomenal. You wouldn't even be able to imagine what happens to your team when they see you rising up and being a leader like that. It is amazing.
Yeah, such good points.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's do a Q&A. Yeah, unmute yourself or pop a chat in. Sure, we've all got questions.
You can see a lot of our gold leaders in here. Karma and Jess, I think, is still there.
Kelly's there.
I tend to people don't have the ability to speak around me with QAs for some reason. But don't be scared. Unmute yourself. I love answering questions.
I'll speak at once.
This is kind of more a basic question. What happens if you don't hit the rank that you hit last month?
You get paid at the rank you achieve. So there's a paid rank and a permanent rank. Your permanent rank is the highest rank you've ever achieved.
Okay.
So up until platinum, you'll be recognised as that rank. At diamond, you start needing to do it multiple times to get recognised, properly recognised. But up until platinum, you will, be called that rank. You'll be recognised at that rank. But you only get paid at the rank that you're actually achieving in that month. So you might hit gold 1 month, and then the next month you might only hit silver. That's okay, nothing wrong with that, but you'll get paid as a silver that month.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
That's it. Thanks.
Kelly, I think you had something.
I was just going to say that, no, I don't really have any questions because I think she covered it off so well and I'm still absorbing it all, and and just took a few little snippets out there to help grow my team and sort of go from there. You covered it off very well. Thank you so much for your time.
No worries. And sometimes leadership is just about showing our team that we try. We're not going to ace it every time. It's hard for perfectionists. I get it. I'm one. It's we spend all this time preparing and then we go and do it and we think, what do we waste all that time worrying about this for? But your team will be inspired by your bravery. And even if you completely fuck it up, they'll go, I can do that too. Have a think about when you're at convention, you see someone up there who's absolutely flawless, They seem to have knowledge and wisdom beyond their years. And while we love what they do, there is an element of, I'm never going to be like that. Whereas if you go up there showing who you are, showing that you aren't perfect or flawless, I think we're all perfect, we're just not flawless. If you aren't flawless, and if you go up there with your knees knocking and your heart racing, your team are going to know that they can do it too. So it's really important to step out even when we're not flawless, perfect, confident people. And I think back at some of the first trainings I did, and I was like, oh my God. But if I presented it with the experience I have now, I wouldn't have inspired the share as I did, because I wouldn't have been speaking to them at their level, and they wouldn't be able to recognise that they could rise up to that too.
Yeah, I love that. And I think that's really important message as well, because we put each other up on a pedestal at some stages, and it's, kind of drives me nuts really, because honestly, my sheep stinks just as much as anybody else's. And
that's such a Tassie thing to say.
So why put, just because someone happens to have some stupid rank attached to their thing, it doesn't matter. We are all people. And I really encourage everyone to just give something a go, whatever it is. If it's your first class, your first Facebook Live, joining into a group, and that, I don't know, puts you out of your comfort zone, or something that kind of makes your heart race and you think, oh, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that. Even if you don't do it, even if you just join and you get halfway, you've still done more than not starting.
Exactly. And the wisdom you gain, not even knowledge wisdom, the muscle memory, familiarity, that's wisdom in itself. I didn't start on stage with 4,000 people.
Yeah.
I started with 50 people, and that was scary for me. If I'd said no to all the opportunities between when I started and getting asked to speak at convention, I wouldn't have been able to say yes to convention. So it was around June, I think, the first year that I started, I made a commitment to myself that I would say yes to all opportunity, even if it scared the shit out of me. And I've lived by that. And that is how I've gotten to where I've gotten to.
Yeah, and it's pretty much how we've done it as well.
Yeah.
We never did that first Facebook video, because back in the day, live didn't exist. It was always video. And because, it feels like the olden days when you say that. It was only a couple of years ago. But, if you never did that video, or you never challenged yourself to do anything, well, we wouldn't be sitting here on the couch talking to you now. So
yeah, we had a motto there where we had to say yes to every opportunity, and we would figure out how to do it. And now we have the opportunity to say no to a few things, because otherwise we couldn't fit it all in. But we really did, it was a big goal of ours to step outside of our comfort zone and say yes to every opportunity that came our way. And we would just figure it out, and we always figured it out.
Yeah, and I read something really beautiful recently, and I can't remember who it was by, but it said, say yes if it's going to contribute to the person that you want to become in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Because we can say no. It's so much easier to say no. Of course it is. We won't have to get out of a comfort zone. It won't be hard. We won't have to deal with the adrenaline rushing through our system. We won't have to deal with the panic, the self-doubt, the lack of worthiness, those feelings of shame that come up when, we don't have it all perfectly aligned, when we don't have the right words to say. But it's through that experience you will actually come closer to alignment with yourself and who you want to be in your future. There's no escaping that bit, that scary bit. You can't get around that. You can't just wake up ready and fearless. There's no such thing. So run into what's hard, because that is what's going to get you to diamond and blue diamond and presidential diamond, and even beyond that in life, because this isn't just about doTERRA. This is life stuff.
Yeah, absolutely agree. Danielle's just said, love this, so encouraging for someone who is just starting. This is a great confident booster on what is really important. And Renee's totally agreed. Tiff says, thanks so much, it's hitting home for me. And Renee has said, sorry, my voice is scratchy. Tassie, cold weather. What are your thoughts around building online and doing online classes? I have a builder and even myself who likes the idea of potentially growing that way.
So I have a question for you, for anyone who's thinking this. Are you doing it because you think it's going to be easier? Are you doing it to avoid real human connection with people? And I'm not asking you to answer that. I'm just giving them as questions that you need to sit with for yourself. I can tell you now, I haven't done a lot online. I do all of my supporting my team online, which is easy for me, but I have a builder who does most of their building online at the moment, and that's Natalie Blackburn. You may have heard of her page. And she works a lot harder than anyone else. I can guarantee that without a doubt. She spends more hours at the computer than anyone else because she supports her team as well. She's got her classes, physical classes and trainings that she runs. It is harder to build online, and anyone who tells you it's not is just, yeah, they either not doing it online or they're not wanting to share the reality of it. It's not easy at all. And to be honest, my experience, most people are wanting to go down that path to avoid the human connection and the intimacy required. Now, I'm not judging you on your motives. I don't even know who you are, but it's just, I'm suggesting you look within and, figure out what your motives are on this. There is nothing wrong with building online. There are lots of people who do it successfully, but I will share the head office are very aware of the statistics for those who build online versus those who do it in person. And the retention rate for those who build online is significantly lower than those who do in-person building. And it's significantly lower. I can't remember the numbers, so I'm not even going to try, but I was a bit shocked, actually, at the big difference. So that's something to keep in mind, the extra work required and also the lower retention rate. Now, I feel like going online can be done effectively, but you would need a lot of money and time to invest in creating sales funnels, evergreen content, all sorts of, and I'm talking tens of thousands of dollars of investment in getting all of this stuff up and running. And believe me, I know because I'm looking into it. Tens of thousands of dollars of investments in creating sales funnels, evergreen content, creating online platforms for training and support. So, I'm definitely not against it because I'm looking at going down that path. But yeah, just be very aware of the amount of time that's going to be required to do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, we've built online, obviously, and we've done it really well, but you're totally correct.
Yeah.
Hey?
But going back to what Mikalena said at the start was we had years of prior building before we grew doTERRA. So we had years of effort and work and hard work.
Yeah, well, what I'm talking about is someone starting from scratch.
Yeah, exactly.
So someone like Jessie Ramers and Tara Bliss, followings of tens of thousands of people, they've built online really easily because they've spent 5 to 10 years building up that following. But for someone who's starting from scratch with, next to no followers, or if all your followers are already oily people like me, it's not as easy as it seems.
Yeah. And I think you're right. And we've certainly spoken about this before is, I think people see, even us and some of those bigger names as well and think it is easier, but honestly, it isn't just exactly what Mikalena said. It can be done, and there are a few people that do it very successfully. The other thing I'll just mention is you have to be really willing to put your whole life out there. Yeah. So, Jo shared her story with her daughter. My kids are older, so I refrain from sort of talking much about them, but we certainly share family things and stuff that has gone on. And so, and that, because that builds the trust with your community, and that's the only way to keep it. And we could go on about that, and that's a whole nother training session, but yeah, it is hard. So just be wary of that.
When you're online, people expect you to be online 24/7.
All the time.
You need to be there.
Oh my God.
Instant. It's an instant world. The World Wide Web is instant. And that's, people send you a message and they are expecting you to be there then.
We've had messages that said, you didn't answer straight away, so I enrolled with someone else. Okay.
Yeah.
I beg my pardon.
Yeah. And anyway, but that is another training session. But
and Tara Bliss said herself that she wouldn't have got to Presidential Diamond as fast as she did had she started with no followers.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Look,
we were exactly the same. We wouldn't have hit blue without the audience we had already. Absolutely. Yeah. All right. Kylie has said, have you got any tips for increasing numbers at classes? Anything that is working well or that has increased attendance?
Connection, developing relationships with every single person that you're inviting. Now, that doesn't need to be going and, you know, becoming BFFs with everybody and having coffee with everybody. But, you know, the more connection you have with people, the more likely they're going to be to come to your classes. I can absolutely say that with conviction. You know, if you had someone across the street invite you to a Tupperware party and they'd never spoken to you before, how likely would you be to go? Whereas if your best friend asked you, or a good friend, or, you know, a strong acquaintance, you would want to go there and support them. You know, so, you know, my sister, you know, is really big on this. So if she's got a group called Life Code Zone. So if you are wanting to build online or create authentic connections and, you know, become more powerful at networking, really great group to go and join. My sister's all about finding out who people are. You know, she uses the Ford method, the FORD. So I think it's family, occupation, recreation. So finding out what people do in their spare time. And what's the D? Dreams. Yeah. So, you know, that's how she develops a connection with people. Who are your family? What do they do? How many kids do you have? What do you love doing in your spare time? You know, what's kind of work do you do? And all of that time she's formulating oils. Yeah. That she, you know, if someone's a PE teacher, they need deep blue. Or if someone's in an office all day, oh, they're going to need some peppermint and wild orange in the afternoon slump. You know, so she's already forming that. So when you are saying, oh, I'm going to talk about peppermint at this class, this is going to help you for this, you're going to get that person there.
Yeah. Yeah, so Renee's just said it was due to her health situation.
Well, and in that case, if she's got time, you know, if she's at home in front of the computer, she can absolutely learn to use that time effectively. There are hundreds of courses out there, but yeah, with building online, there is a financial investment required. There really is, learning how to do it and.
Yeah, definitely. And other people are just saying thanks heaps. So unless there are any other questions, we do try and only keep them to an hour. So
sorry. I talk so much.
No, it's been really good. And I think, just based on what everyone is saying, there's been a lot of aha moments and some push in the right direction for a few people. So that's awesome. Thank you.
All right. Yeah. It was really nice to at least see all your beautiful faces and come and say hi to me when we're at the next event together.
Absolutely. Leadership, maybe.
Yes, maybe.
Yeah, leadership on the Gold Coast. Yeah, thanks so much, Mikalena.
No worries.
Yeah, we really appreciate your time.
No worries at all. Have an amazing day, everyone.
See ya.
Bye.
Thanks so much, girls. I hope you got a lot out of that, and thanks for being here. And we'll be online and we'll chat to you guys soon. For those that haven't joined Business Boomers Club, that does finish, like the qualifications finish in 3 days, end of the month, 31st of March. So we would absolutely love it if you guys were interested in joining, to make sure you do comment on the Facebook group or the thread. It is not so, if you're brand new and you're still in that preparation stage of learning about oils and things, it might not be quite for you. But if you've already done that, you've learned about the oils and you know the product and you've built some connections, then jump right into Business Bloomers.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And if there's anything you would like specific training on, let us know. So, Renee, if it is something you would like, and others are sort of putting their hand up as well, we can find other people, if it's not just us, to really specifically talk about certain areas of business building and just real dive deep into certain areas. So, let us know, send us messages, or put it in the chat group, like the builders chat group, so that we can, have a bit of time to get other guests on or whatever. Or if there's a guest that you like, someone you might have heard at convention speak, or someone you've seen online, or someone you just have looked up to for a while and you'd like to reach out, let us know and we'll try and reach out to those people and get them on.
Yeah, we'd love to talk about building online, because it definitely has its pros, and then it's got its cons, just like any business. So
Yeah,
we
absolutely.
can do some training on that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Take care, everyone.
Bye.
See ya. Bye. Stacey Walker, she's amazing. We'll see how we go. We'll try and get her on. All right. See ya.
Bye.